Hello, this is Marvelous Action Figures, and I'm Paul. And this episode is going to be my top 10 of 2024 so far. Now we're right in the middle of the year. It's early July at the time that I'm putting this together, so we're halfway through the year with half to go. And what I did think about doing with this video is, first of all, let's clear some of the stuff up. It's my top 10. It says it on the thumbnail. It says it in the episode title. These may not be your top 10. These may not be, in fact, these aren't even my top 10. We'll come back to these in a minute. So it might not be your top 10. It might not be any of your top 10. They might be all your top 10, or they might be different. So it's just my top 10. And I'll talk about the reasons why. Because I just love talking about figures. I love listening to other people talk about figures as well. That's half the fun and half the enjoyment, and it should be a wonderfully joyful community. So I love that as well. I was going to do this live, actually. I was going to put this out live, and then I thought, well, do you know what? You don't want to spend your evening just listening to me go off live like this, because there might be figures in there that you don't like. And if that's the case, that's absolutely fine. It really is. You should just then flick through the video and get to the next one. Hopefully out of the 10 that are coming up, you will like some of the 10. But that means if it was live, you'd have to put up with it. And I don't want you to do that. You're all busy people with loads to do. And also, the beauty of this being out recorded and put out there, like I say, you can just flick through it and pick the ones that you want. And it also means, for me, if I was live streaming it, I'd have to keep an eye on the comments, because I hate missing comments. If one of you takes the time to write a comment, no matter what it is, I will always acknowledge it or reply if it's the sort of one that needs a reply, even just to say thanks or agree with you. I absolutely hate it when people go out of their way to put comments and then people don't take the time to acknowledge it or do something back. So I would absolutely want to do that. And I'd be worried about missing something in the comments, which could be a good point that I might miss while talking about the figures. So, not live streaming, giving you the chance to flick through the ones you don't like, giving me a chance just to talk about figures that I do love, and then we'll see where we get at the end of this video. And also it means I can just freestyle as well, and then you haven't got to sit around for the whole thing thinking, when will he get on with it? Much like you're probably doing right now. So anyway, so that's my setup. The other sort of caveat with it all is obviously it's top 10 figures of 2024 so far. So I'm in the UK. That means figures that have dropped in the UK in 2024. Now, an example of one that I would have loved to have had in here, but I can't, is I've managed to pick up earlier in the year the Mezco Batman Gotham by Gaslight. A beautiful figure. Love it so much. There's a review video on the channel if you want to have a look at it. But that didn't drop in the UK in 2024. I managed to secure it in 2024. Quite by luck, because it's just super rare to get hold of. So these are figures that have dropped here. So some of these figures you'll be looking at going, well, they were 2023 and they may well have been where you were. Some of them you'll be looking at going, how did this man travel through time from the future and get these figures? Because you may not have actually had them yet anyway. So these are the figures. So these ones here, so these are some of my honourable mentions just to get started. So some of my honourable mentions are, you've got the G.I. Joe Classified Duke, which is the retro carded Duke. This is from Hasbro. I missed this figure first time round. It is a fantastic figure. Very, very simple, and it's in its simplicity that it is so good. Really, really super style. It works with Valaverse, it works with Marvel, it works with G.I. Joe figures. It looks fantastic. It's a really, really solid figure. Great detailing, great sculpting to it. Behind that, let's just move him out of the way here somewhere. There you go. So behind that, we've got the Techno Viper. Again, G.I. Joe Classified from Hasbro. And again, Hasbro with the G.I. Joe Classified, I think, do a beautiful job in terms of giving a modern spin on some of these classic figures. And this is getting into the sort of super weird era as we approach the sort of late 80s, 90s of the G.I. Joe comic books and the toys. So I think it's a really solid update. Sticking with Joe's, because why not? They're right here. This is an incredible example of what can be done with a pinless figure that has full sort of torso and full a lot of skin on display. This is Quick Kick. I think this is an excellent figure. I really love it. It articulates super well. I managed to get this bad boy posing on one leg on a bridge, which I was really pleased with. And I learned everything I know on posing these figures from Jay Hernandez, who's just the genius toy creator and poser. So hello to Jay Hernandez. I know you won't be listening. I really wish you were, but thank you for teaching me how to pose Quick Kick. Behind that, let's just move him out of the way here, is we've got the brilliant Janet Van Dyne the Wasp. Now this came out of the 2-pack with Hank Pym, so it's the normal sized giant man getting ready for that HasLab, which will be on its way this year. Beautiful figure. The second Janet Van Dyne head sculpt is gorgeous as well. I keep it in this one. It's classic Avengers, old school Avengers. The wings are great. It poses well. As for a female figure, it stands brilliantly with a really solid. Look at that. She was just about to fall when I said that. Typical. That's such good timing. Thanks, Janet. She stands great. She looks great. Really great figure. The articulation and the sculpting is beautiful for this figure. So you see, it's fantastic. And this one is not long. Just picked this up from the Iron Man retro card wave. But oh my goodness, it is so much fun. It is so. Let's get Janet out of the way for the moment and the Techno Viper. This is also why I didn't want to live stream, because they'll all fall over. This Iron Man Model 20 is fantastic. It looks so good. I played it around in different light settings. It articulates really well. It's a great looking figure. It's a really solid Iron Man edition. I was going to chuck in behind these the 3-0 comic book Megatron, because that is a great figure this year. But there might be something along those lines coming from top 10. So I'm enjoying this freestyling so far. I hope I haven't bored you too much. So these are some honourable mentions. They're not in my 10, but they are tremendous figures. I just wanted to give a little shout out to and spend a bit of time eulogizing over, because they're really cool figures. But they're not the 10. What is the 10? Well, let's get started on the 10, and I will take these ones away. Okay, let's get the 10 going. Here's my first one. Here's my first pick. This is the G.I. Joe, Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified 60th Anniversary Action Soldier Infantry. I know this got a lot of heat. It got a few critics at it, running it down a bit, but I've got to say this is a solid figure. I got 2 of these. I've mixed and matched them, and yeah, sure, there are a couple of grumbles. This leg strap for the holster here is a little bit loose, but put it back in, push it back into shape. It looks absolutely fine. The heads, the pegs, the holes for the heads were really super tight to do, but a blast of hot water into it and it worked straight away. Nice, clean and crisp. I think this is a really solid figure. A couple of articulation issues with the leg in terms of them being a bit sort of frozen up and a bit seized, but again, I heated it up. It was no problem. I think this is a really solid looking figure for the price of this. So this was $34.99 here in the UK, and it was about the same in terms of dollars, which means you're getting a much better bang for your buck on the exchange rate over in the US. I think this is a really good figure. I'm really pleased with this one. A lot of good Joes this year, but this one really stood out for me. I haven't kitted them up with everything here, because I've got some of it packed away and I've taken him straight out of my display case as he is at the moment. But I'll whack some pictures up as I'm putting this out there of some ACBA that I've done with him. He's got soft goods that come with him as well. He's got wicked set of armory as well. So I think for the price, for what you got, 2 heads, extra hands, I think this was a real solid addition to the range and a really good 60th anniversary representation from the Joes. So yeah, big fan of this figure. Okay, that's 10. Thanks very much, G.I. Joe Action Soldier Infantryman. Okay, next up, let's move on. Number 9. This is the Hasbro, again, Marvel Legends Captain America Secret Empire. Now, this figure really surprised me. Now, I love this comic book one. It's from 2015. Nick Spencer and Cap became an agent of Hydra, where he had his history rewritten by the Red Skull using Cubic, the Cosmic Cube. And this figure came out so much better than I expected. I really loved the style of this costume from that comic book one. It ended up becoming Secret Empire with the Hydra cap, which I didn't like that costume. I hated it. This one looks fantastic. This costume is superb. This is built on the Ultimates Captain America release from 2023. So it's a really, really good bold. It's got the good articulation everywhere on it. Accessories are limited, but they're decent for what you get. I love the shield. It moves really well. It's a really solid Captain America. There's great detail in it. I was really, really pleased with this figure. I say it's great fun. It's a really, really great, for me, representation of some of the classic comic book looks on a modern figure. You could drop this straight in with the Joes and it wouldn't look out of place. It's got great sort of modern detailing to it on a real classic costume look, and I am super, super pleased with it. So this is a comfortable top 10 for me. Will it hold when we get towards the end of the year? I don't know, because there's a lot coming, but this is a real solid figure. So I really, really like this, and that is my number 9. Okay. Moving through the list, for my 8. Okay. Now, I may have to do a bit of a camera adjustment here, because, is he in? Okay. Let's just do a little bit of it. There you go. This is the YOLO Park 40th edition G1 Transformers Megatron. My goodness. This blew me away. Now, I didn't think anything was going to top the 3-0 Megatron as a non-transforming transformer, but this one takes a cake. My reasons for loving the comic book Megatron is because you have the dark helmet and the dark blue skirts with a bit more sort of red on it. But goodness me, as a representation of that G1 cartoon series transformer, this Megatron is incredible. This was a kit. It came all in parts. You build it. It could not be simpler. If you're thinking about getting it and you've been put off by having to build it, do not be daunted by it. It is a lot of fun to build as well. You can see a little short on my channel of me building it. It's great fun, easy to build. It's a magnificent figure. It absolutely poses like a dream. You've got double bends everywhere on him. It's just a stunning, stunning figure. My only gripes with these YOLO Parks is I don't particularly like the hands so much. They're not the greatest hands. You've got to sort of really sort of fiddle around to get a sort of decent fist out of it. Sort of a pointy finger look to it. But it is a minor complaint for an incredible figure. Came with lots of accessories as well. Came with that sort of axe hand, not hand, the ball and chain, spiked ball and chain hand that he had that fight on the dam with Optimus in the cartoon. A beautiful, beautiful figure. So, so pleased with this. It absolutely blew me away. I would love way more of these from YOLO Park, please, because these are the definitive non-transforming transform for me. And they were a third of the price for 3-0. Now, I love the 3-0 non-transforming Transformers. The Rodimus Prime was actually my figure of 2023. I thought it was beautiful. So I have the comic book Megatron this year. I've had Starscream drop this year. I've got Skywarp coming any day now. So I really, really love that 3-0 range. But these YOLO Park, these are for the win as non-transforming Transformers. These are glorious. I'd like a Shockwave, please. That'd be next. And a Soundwave, and a Jetfire, and a Prowl, and an Ultra Magnus, and all of them. That'd be great. Thanks so much. So this is great. That was, I think, from memory, my number 10, 9, yes, 8. Just looking at one side of the room with figures that I've shown and looking at the other side of the room. Okay. 7 is on the way. Now, 7 surprised myself, actually. Okay, so 7 is the Mezco 112 Collective Doctor Doom. Now, I was so excited for this figure. Let's just bring that back down a bit. There we go. I was so excited for this figure. I've had the pre-order for 2 years almost by the time this one dropped here in the UK. This arrived earlier in the year. I absolutely love it. the soft goods on Doom. There's different head sculpts. There's a wired hood, which makes all the difference. That is so key for me. So I've got the 1/6 scale S Hero Doom Monarch. Glorious figure, really, really cool, but the hood has no support, no wire to it, nor does the cape, to be honest. And so the hood does not hold into really cool shapes. It sort of drapes across the face and gets in the way. This one is perfect. This wired hood is glorious. It looks fantastic. You've got the wired effect in the cape as well, which is fantastic as well. A bucket load of accessories, particularly the magical ones. You've got full die cast figure, beautiful smooth articulation. It's really chunky, it's really, really great. The cloak is on magnets, so these just lift straight off. I did unfortunately break mine immediately. As you can see here, in taking off these pouches for the jetpack to go into, I accidentally snapped off the peg. That is my most stressful thing as a collector. Mezco and Mafex pegs are the most frustrating and the most stressful for me, because I don't like the hand pegs. I don't like hands where the peg is on the body, not the hand. Because I find, I don't know about you, tell me in the comments, but I find that when I am trying to put the peg into the hole, it's easier when the peg is on the hand, because then it goes in already, then you can push. And when it's the other way round, you can't see that you've always lined it up properly when the peg from the arm is going into the hand where the hole is, because the hand is masking that hole, if that makes sense. For those of you that got these figures, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it really stresses me out. I recently got the Mafex Steel from Return of Superman, which is a glorious figure, straight out of the box, first time, snap the hand peg. So I'm looking to source a spare hand peg so I can remove the whole thing, the whole ball joint, and put a new one in. So they're the things that stress me out with it. I'm surprised myself that this isn't actually higher on the list, because Doom is my all-time greatest comic book villain. This figure's glorious. There's just something about it. It isn't actually as imposing as I thought it might be. And some of the Marvel Legends, actually, although this is obviously a way superior figure, and I'm not doing a Mezco Marvel Legends figure because there's so much difference in terms of price and quality. But this wasn't as massively imposing as I thought it might be. Now, maybe that's myself and I overhyped myself with it. Still an absolutely staggeringly good figure. I might change the faceplate. Maybe that's what it is. But it's a glorious figure. But it's beaten by a number of other figures that are just so good that gets it into the number 7 slot. Okay, so there's Lucky 7 Doom. Let's keep going. Let me move him out of the way. Nice and gently. Okay, so we hit our number 6 on the list now. Now, I've actually got to remind myself what I put at 6. I'm getting a bit... Yep, got it. So there's a couple now where they're sort of quite close to each other in terms of how much I like them. And again, it's just my list. There's not a lot to choose between them. Isn't it great? Isn't it great to have so many cool figures that you love so much that you just can't decide what order to put them? But here we go. Excuse me. This is my number 6. This is the retro card Iron Man wave. This is the model 09. Now, this came in comic book lore. This came after the Armor Wars. So at the end of issue 231, 232, we got this new Mark 9 armor. This is so it's not a reissue actually, this is an update. So there was a Mark 9 version on the retro card a few years ago. It's a lot thinner. Articulation is not great. It hasn't got this beautiful sort of crisp pop fizzing bright technicolored look to it. This is straight out of a Secret Wars 1984 toy. This is in this list because one, is a cool figure, it moves really well, it looks exquisite, it's totally pinless, it's glorious, but it gives me the absolute feels of walking into a toy shop back in the 80s when I was a kid and just seeing on the shelf this Iron Man just popping out at me, just saying, buy me, I'm the Iron Man you need. It's just a glorious, glorious figure. So much fun. basic accessories. You've got the fist hands, you have the open repulsor blade hands, and 2 repulsor blasts with it. But it's just incredible fun. It's just so good. It's got the bright blue repulsor in the middle. It's a beautiful update. The big chunky boots make it fantastic to pose as well, because it holds its pose nicely. I just like, it's just so much fun. Just everything about it says absolute comic book feels. So that is white 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I've got to keep reminding myself how many I can. That's what sits at number 6. I could have got it higher, but it's just the other figures around it I just love so much. So there is my 6. Okay, we're going well. Let me know what you're thinking so far. It is great to just pull all these toys out and just start playing around with them and get them all out in one go. At some point, I've got to try and get them in here now so I can do a picture at the end. Okay, so top 5. Top 5 is super difficult. Top 5 is really, really difficult. So I'm bringing in now the Yellow Park Optimus Prime. Let me just give him a bit of a tidy up there. And let me just do a camera adjustment. My goodness me. This is an absolute, I mean, I go between this being my best ever figure. It's definitely top 5. Again, the only reason that this figure is not any higher on the list is the issue with the hands again. Now, again, same as a Megatron, the hands aren't the best. It would have been really great if they've actually given us a couple of hand options with them. This one holds the gun, and it doesn't. The gun is fantastic, by the way. I've got the gun in a box actually, which I've got somewhere. Which I should have dug out, but I didn't. Anyway, there we go. So it doesn't hold the gun the best it possibly could do. It's quite weak in the hand for it. But in terms of this figure, oh my goodness, it's just got absolutely everything. It's the definitive Prime for me, and there's just nothing beats it. It's super chunky. It articulates unbelievably well. Again, like the Megatron, it's a kit build. Look at the detail and look at the weathering, these small sort of chip paint effects on it. You know, he's a 9 million-year-old character because he obviously crashed down onto Earth millions of years ago. He stood the test of time well. It is just staggering. The face, this has got the face of all faces for Optimus figures for me. It's just absolutely beautiful. You can imagine this as the truck, and you can see him in all his glory. It's just so good. While I'm here looking at him, I'm almost thinking I should put him higher up the list. However, I've committed to my 5. I'm very happy with the next 4 as well. But again, this is the beauty of it. They could all be number 1 in there. So that is my 5. That is the Yellow Park 40th anniversary G1 Transformers Optimus Prime. Oh, I love it so much. Okay. Okie doke. Number 4 came up very early in the year, one I was eagerly waiting to get, one I didn't have in my early collection. Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider. Let's get him a bit of a close-up on the camera there we go. Beautiful Spider-Man figure, absolutely insane in terms of its posing, its articulation. It's on that sweet Renew Your Vows body, so it's got gorgeous ab crunch torso twist to it. This hood worried me that it might impede on the articulation. It doesn't in the slightest. Totally pinless, toe articulation, lots of accessories. It's just the beautiful Spider-Man of Spider-Man this year. Clean, crisp colours. I love this colour choice. I think this works better than the Mafex version, which I did have on pre-order at one point, and because of the very long delay to get Mafex in the UK, I actually cancelled it when I saw this one come out, and I'm quite glad I did that in the end, because this just poses just so well. This gives me everything I need. I haven't really felt the need to dive in too much with Marvel Mafex figures because Marvel Legends give me most things. It's the capes though, it's the soft goods. I get a lot of the Mezco ones where they've got capes, wide capes. A particular fan this year, and another honourable mention to the Yamaguchi Thor, which was incredible. It's got the best wide cape of all the wide capes that are out there. But Marvel Legends give me everything I need in terms of their posability. So this Scarlet Spider sits very, very high up on the list. Beautiful figure, great detailing, love it so much. A really, really solid addition for the Marvel Legends this year. Really, really, Marvel Legends been back on form this year, and I'm really here for it. Really pleased with it because it was one of my big collectors a few years ago. So, okay, 3 to go. Okay, this is really difficult now, but popping in at number 3 is my boy, my main man, my fave character. It is Moon Knight, and this is the amazing Yamaguchi Reveltech Moon Knight. It's got the greatest wired cape of all wired capes. It's just the best. And in terms of how that cape just poses out, whoop, just killed the diorama. It's just glorious. It's just got the best wired cape effect of all. I love Moon Knight. I love everything about Moon Knight. You know what you're getting with the Yamaguchis from Evertech. You're getting the extreme articulation. It's almost like this armoured version of Moon Knight. It is staggering. No, it's beautiful. It just poses like an absolute dream. You can do the most extreme poses with it. You've got toe articulation. You've got double elbows, double knees. You've got some good accessories. You've got 3 different interchangeable face plates for Moon Knight as well, and a different collar for the cape as well. And the thing for me that just makes figures all the difference, like I said, I love Marvel Legends, but the thing that just makes characters that have capes just make them pop off the page like comic books is the wide capes. The Yamaguchis are the best of the best for those. They really are. And this one is just phenomenal. I can't say enough good about this figure. It's exceptional. I love posing around with it. They're not the cheapest, but you absolutely get what you pay for. You get your bang for your buck with it. And it is beautiful. So more Yamaguchis, please, with big flowy capes. That is what I'm after. Wired capes are the best. Look at the way that that just holds its pose on there as well. I'll probably, while I've been doing this, while I'm talking now, I'll probably bang a few little pictures on of him anyway. I'm going to do a little video just on how good wired capes are, I think, and just put some images in of my fave figures that have just got the wired capes. But look at that. Look at that. It's just staggering. I might just leave that on the video for the next hour. Just let that run. So go and get yourself a cup of tea and come back in about an hour, and then you'll probably see the Moon Knight in it. No, I won't do that. That'd be terrible. Yeah, fun for me. Okay, so that is number 3. Amazing Yamaguchi from Reveltech Moon Knight. Glorious. Okay. Right, here's my problems. I've got 2 left. I don't know what order to put them in. I think I do. I'm going to put them up, and then I'm just going to talk about them, and then we'll see where we end up. So, my last 2 are Diamond Select, Captain America, and Mafex Batman Nightfall. Now, this is literally just arrived. The Batman Nightfall's just arrived like a day before I'm recording this. So I want to make sure I'm not having the recency bias about it, that I'm not getting too carried away with it. But it might be the single greatest ever figure I've ever owned in my life. It is pure Batman of my childhood from the comic books. It's the Jim Aparo, Neil Adams, Norm Brayfogle style to it. You've got the longer cape as well, which I'm going to bring over here. So you've got the second cape with the shoulders on, which goes out even bigger than this cape. They're beautiful for sort of flying scenes, and you can actually get a real sort of Todd McFarlane Batman Year 2 vibe with that one as well. It is amazing. It poses like an absolute dream, as you would expect for a Mafex. He's glorious. I'm not entirely sold yet on the drop down butterflies on the shoulder, but obviously in terms of pose and articulation, it gives you everything you need. The cape is staggering. The wired cape again is just perfection, and in terms of being able to get some beautiful Batman night shots flying and fighting, it's going to be perfect. It's a definitive look for me with the yellow oval on the back and the yellow utility belt and the perfect blue for me. This is the dream Batman for me. So it's the absolute dream Batman, and it could easily be my number one. But this bad boy came along a couple of weeks ago, and I cannot put him down. It's just exceptional. Now, Diamond Select, for me, and if you collect them, you'll know, exceptional look to them. They don't always articulate the best. Now, it depends what you're looking for your figures. This is the 7-inch against the 6-inch FX here. Depends what you're looking for. They didn't always pose the best. On the shelf, this is epic. However, this does articulate really, really well. Really like you would want from a Captain America. It's glorious. And in terms of this look, that is absolute straight out of a comic book Captain America. I just cannot take my eyes off this thing. It's just glorious. And then in terms of the accessories, you've actually got a proper belt, utility, that belt, sort of like World War II sort of belt with all the pouches on it, which looks fantastic. Can work on a modern version as well. You've got the original 1941 shield, that more sort of squarer shield with the sort of pointy end to it. And then these straps come off on here as well. And then what happens with the shield, which is brilliant, the shield pops into that harness. So you can actually have it with the harness like that and the shield. And you've got a really great modern take on Cap. There you go. I might have had my hand on that in there. And in terms of how the shield sits, if I pop that back in, as you can see, that sits into there. Now, there's also a second part to this, which I haven't got anyway, I should have, which the shield inside pops onto it with the straps. So you can put the hand under and then the straps sit into that. So you can then take that off and it's the same style straps inside. And then in terms of popping that in, now this sits the best of any Captain America figure, shield on back. I always get slightly annoyed with the Marvel Legends one. I know it's it's a bit cheaper. There's not much difference between these ones, to be honest. But I think the shields don't sit the best on their back when you've got them on. This is exactly what it would look like with those straps on the back of the shield. It just looks glorious. Look at that face. Look at that face sculpt. So it just pops for me. It's the ultimate dream Captain America. I can't decide. I'm really not sure. However, for the purposes of having a top 10 and going from 10 all the way down, I'm going to put the Mafex Batman at 2 and Captain America the Diamond Select at 1. Now that might change later in the year because I've only just got this guy and I'm desperately trying to avoid recency bias on it, obviously, because every time I get a new figure, it's the greatest figure in the world. I'm sure you're the same. The minute I take it out of the box, this is the best figure ever, forget all the rest, and then there I am a bit later buying a new figure, that's the best. So but I'm gonna go Batman 2, Cap 1. That's my list. That's what I'm putting in. So as it stands right now, Captain America from Diamond Select is my number one figure of 2024 so far. And that is it. I'm not going to attempt to try and put them all back in here because I'll probably just destroy everything I've said. That's my list. So we went G.I. Joe, number 10, the Action Soldier 60th anniversary. We had the Secret Empire Captain America at number 9. We then went to the Yola Park Megatron at 8. We went Mezco Doom at 7. We went Iron Man Model 09 at 6. 9 at 6. Then we had Scarlet Spider at 5 for Marvel Legends. We had the Yamaguchi Moon Knight at 4. And then we went... no, we didn't. Sorry, that's a complete lie. We had Optimus Prime at 5. Scarlet Spider at 4. And then we went Moon Knight 3. Mafex Batman 2, Captain America 1. That's my 10. What are yours? I really enjoyed this. If you stuck with me all the way through, then thank you very much. This is one of the longest video I've put out in forever. I haven't put loads out lately. I put lots of shorts out because I'm really enjoying just playing with the figures. So if you have been subscribing and you continue to subscribe, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I try not to bother you too much with all my nonsense, but I hope you do enjoy what I have put out. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, and you've got a different 10, which I'm sure you will have, because that's the whole point of this and why it's so fun and enjoyable, let me know. And let me know what you think of my 10. And what have I missed? What else should I be looking out for? I've got loads of other figures this year that I've just not had a chance to get round to. And at one point, they're all in my top 10. You can look at all the videos. So everything I've got this year, I've reviewed in some form or another. So they're all on the channel. So you can see everything that I've reviewed on the channel. So if you want to check some of those out, and then you can let me know what you think, or agree or disagree, or maybe you picked it up as a result of that, or maybe you've got a figure that you think I should pick up, then let me know. Drop it down in the comments. Continue to subscribe if you are. Thank you. I love you for doing it. And if you're not and you'd like to, then that would be excellent as well. And a little thumbs up is brilliant, and a share is even more amazing. So that is it. Thank you very much indeed. I am now going to try and get all 10 together in a little nice promotional shot in here. And I say thank you very much, and I'll hopefully see you again on another video soon. Bye for now.